I believe we as humans are collective beings. We can live our individual lives, but we need that connection, we need that community. I want to see more of those caring communities shaped up.
Hello everyone, welcome back to MANO Beyond Cancer. My name is Carmen Monge, and MANO is a space dedicated to all people with a lived cancer experience. In here, we share about our journey and we learn about it.
Hello everyone, today we are with Atefeh. She's going to tell us a little bit about her. Hi, Atefeh.
Hi, Carmen. Nice to see you again.
The first question is very, very easy. Who are you? What are you passionate about right now? And what is your favorite food?
I can say I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter, always been an activist advocate. And now that is my main passion, my main occupation. What takes my mind, what takes my heart is serving cancer patients. My favorite food, okay, that's tricky because I have to be loyal to every country I've lived in. But I have Iranian roots. I'm Iranian. And of course, my top favorite is always Iranian dishes, which is usually rice and some sort of a stew. We have this one particular that I'm more of a chicken person than red meat. So we have this rice dish with a chicken stew, which is my favorite. Like if I feel in the mood of cooking something Iranian, it's that one. It's called zereshk polo ba morg, which is Barbary rice with chicken, basically.
If we talk a little bit about your experience, how was to have cancer in Belgium?
I was diagnosed very late, and it was a stage 4 diagnosis of lymphoma. And what I would like when I think about a very positive country in terms of healthcare, very solid healthcare system is Belgium. This is surprising that you get a very late diagnosis, right? This should have been something checked. When I was diagnosed, of course, like every cancer patient, the moment you hear the words that you have cancer, it's like a shock. And my experience generally here with my cancer treatment was rather very positive, except for the late diagnosis thing. I was very lucky with a wonderful medical team. I was very lucky with the professor who took on my case, and I became his patient. And it's a beautiful thing. The first thing he tells to his patients, and he said to me, is, once you're my patient, you're my family. And I think that's really touching. That puts you in such a trust and comfort that now you don't worry about if you didn't ask the right questions or if you don't have the full information. And at later stages, yes, information will come and questions will come, but at that moment that trust is built, that means everything, I believe, for every cancer patient. We need doctors like that. We don't, unfortunately, have everyone as compassionate and empathetic. And I know doctors are busy and this and that, but this connection, I think, is really, that's really saved me.
Do you know many cancer survivors, and how can you describe them in one word?
Unfortunately, I do. There are many incidents and around me and close circle around me, and I've been thinking about it, and there's one word that I think fits every cancer survivor and patient, and that is strong.
Did you have any side effects that actually you like about having cancer?
But I remember a time after I had come to terms with losing my hair and everything, I was taking a shower and I was like, and I had always had very long hair. I was like, this is such a comfort. You don't have to wash the whole long, heavy hair, and my arms are resting. I do remember, and I immediately felt like, is something wrong with me for thinking that way? But the bald head was fine. It was bumpy, but it was so easy to wash and feel the comfort of it. So yeah, I had those funny moments too.
So you mentioned that your roots are from Iran.
Yes.
Do you see that there is a lot of stigma in Iran comparing to Belgium, or how do you see that?
It used to be. There used to be a lot of, and it still is. In many countries, there is still a lot of stigma, a lot of fear, and different forms of stigma. But if I'm comparing like Iran to Belgium, I have seen a lot of advancement in Iran as well, especially around the topic of breast cancer. Because yes, in many countries, that is also a taboo to speak about because it's this part of seen as the sexual part of the woman's body. So don't talk about it. But indeed, when I was in Iran in the Pink Month last year, I saw so many public awareness posters, information sessions. Then I can say, yeah, there is still fear, but not that much stigma around cancer. And of course, a lot of work to do still, but I wouldn't say stigma is that deeply rooted anymore.
And talking a little bit about what changes would you like to see in your community that will support cancer survivors or cancer patients? What would you like to see? Like with changes in the society? And in here, I want to talk about your NGO.
Changes in the society is how we care for one another, how we connect with one another. And of course, there's so many beautiful people around, but we still lack connecting that human side of us to our everyday life. That's we live through different things. That empathetic understanding is still very essential and very much missed in many circles. And that is something I would change if I'm talking about community. In the past 2 decades, I would say individualism has been very much promoted, especially here in Europe. And people are left to believe that they have to take care of themselves alone and shouldn't ask for help. And it's also expected from them at a level. And that's also something I want to see that change, because I believe we as humans are collective beings. We can live our individual lives, but we need that connection, we need that community. So I want to see more of those caring communities shaped up.
And what do you want to do with your organization?
That's many people have inspired me, I must say. And that is also why I do what I do now with Women Cancer Europe. By the way, that is Women Cancer Europe. That is an image I have created from a photo of myself. The core of Women Cancer Europe is providing the care and support to every woman affected by any kind of cancer from the moment of diagnosis to as long beyond the treatment as they need, because we know very well, we know too well that the cancer journey does not end when the treatment ends. And it means that different levels of care and support needed. We are creating care circles that would be in the European level, pan-European level, communities that would be supporting one another, and not just a patient organization that will want patients to fill surveys and do this and that without any compensation. We are having a holistic approach to cancer care. Like you were saying, the whole person should be seen. And that's the goal of Women Cancer Europe. The services that we will provide is, for example, connecting cancer survivors and patients to employers who are truly inclusive, who are willing to accommodate to the needs of these people. That's what I want to support people with, that we connect you with the right resources. Who should you contact? Who should support you in that, your financial situation? Because I've been there. In my case, cancer was not my worry. Surviving was not my worry, but losing my job was, because that's also part of my identity. That's also part of my purpose. But what I'm building and working on is a fair treatment of cancer patients.
Tell me a personality trait that you were like this before having cancer and that you are still like this after having cancer.
I would say that before, planning things were very important to me. I was always a spontaneous person, but at some level, I needed to have some plans somewhere. And it would get me really nervous and sometimes even angry that if the plan does not go as I wanted it. And now I'm like, okay, it happened. It changed. The plan has to change. So what? So I take things easier in that way, and which makes me much more spontaneous than before.
Thank you so much, Atefeh, for this interview.
Thank you so much. So it's been brilliant what you've been doing. Thank you for doing that.
Do you like this video? Well, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with others. Thank you. Bye-bye.